I
I
know
love
why
it,
you're.
basically.
We threw off your chain of thought because Illuminati Congo has joined us. Another one of our
Hey, bro.
incredible artists in the space. Big fan of yours. I know he's a Bot Squad chicken holder. We're getting
No
into
way.
doing these kind of on a daily. Um, so I wanted to have kind of Illuminati Congo come in and ask any questions that I might not get onto because it's there's an interesting thing where have you been on Final Export with Freud?
Yeah, I did that a while ago. I can't remember how long ago it was, but I think around the start of the year.
So I think it's really amusing to see. I love listening to his podcast because his his questions and his interview style is completely different than mine. Uh, the way that because of his artistic background, he can very much more tap into those kind of questions. Which there's a lot of artists in this space that want those kind of questions answered, and it's stuff that I
Yeah.
wouldn't even think of asking. Um, but let's get into kind of the NFT field as a whole. Because I know you've been an artist. The NFTs is just a new technology for you. So I kind of want to know your thoughts on, as an artist, when you look at this field of NFTs, what excites you about it going forward?
I think I think the unknown is probably, that sounds stupid, but I think it's the unknown of of so I've just been doing graphic design and drawing for years now, and just doing it through Instagram. And now through this another thing, NFTs, I've actually found the community that I've never had a chance to be a part of before. I've just kind of been like this solo character. And so now I'm starting to meet people and start to get it. So I think I got really worried at one point that technology was actually going to separate people and put them in their silos. And I think one thing I've learned from NFTs and the future of NFTs is that it's actually going to bring a lot more people together in these communities through passions that they're more into. And I guess that's kind of what excites me the most, is to see where that kind of goes, building these communities moving forward.
What's been the biggest hurdle for you entering this space? I know as an artist, I mean, I guess there's part of it that this whole space. I know a lot of artists are looking at a downturn in the market as a hurdle right now. I know from guys like you and Teens on Acid, these creators who would be creating whether this industry is here or not. Uh, what do you think is kind of the biggest hurdle in entering this space as an artist?
I think it's understand the tech and what people expect from you, because I guess my biggest issue is, and that's why you end up meeting all these other people in the community and getting them to help you, is the utility behind it all, right? It's, to me, I'm just like, I want to make some cool art that just I hope people like and they want to buy. But it's how are people going to use this art? It's just the biggest question, I think. It's like, that's why profile picture art is so huge, because people get to put it as their profile picture. So it's like, I think when you come into it, and Tombheads told me this, he was like, you can make great art, but you need to understand that people are only here for a few little things. So like, you need to try make the profile pictures, and then you need to make the art, and kind of go back and forth like that. And so that was really good advice, I think, to start with. And my bot boys, I think I get to still do my one-on-one arts, and that's why I enjoy the bot squad, because I do my profile stuff. So I've got this nice balance, I think. But yeah, I think understanding that is probably something that people need to know when they come in.
Bob Boy, what I really love about your Bob Boy collections are these like the sentience in the intelligence, the personification that you put into the metal, to the robot with this character. And I see like that type of imagination being sort of required for, as we were talking about, as we go into this metaverse Web3 thing, to bring life in connection to technology. So we're on more of a playful and a fun level with the technology, rather than a antagonistic type of relationship. Is that some of your intention behind
Yeah,
the play?
yeah, I think a lot of my kind of idea with Bot Boy is when you see robots and you see like AI, that everything's so like shiny and perfect, and I tried to bring in like a human element because we're not shiny and we're not perfect, and like I guess that's kind of what my end goal was, and that's why there's a few kind of like dodgy lines that I've intentionally just kind of I've like the lines kind of like, and I haven't undone it because I'm like that kind of it fits perfectly to like the world I'm kind of trying to produce, and yeah, I think that's amazing that you've picked up on that because yeah, that is something that I intentionally try to do and like try to make it as raw as possible.
Now I have to ask, because you do mention kind of the world that you're building, envisioning. When we go to your website, welcome to Bot Boy World. Again, when we touch on the acid verse, this idea that there is a story starting to be told here. Um, you can kind of already envision this metaverse going forward. Uh, what do you envision? This could be 20 years from now. It could be 5 years from now. But what are you kind of starting to envision out of this now that you've kind of been
I,
with it for a bit?
I think if money wasn't an option and if time wasn't an like if we had all the time and all the money, I think it'd be. I think I'd love it for it to be a like a cartoon show with all these amazing, unique characters, and then it's kind of a mixture. It's between that and like a Super Mario world. You know how like Mario can go into multiple, like millions of different characters. There's all these amazing little characters that he meets along the way, and it's kind of what my in my head when I create every bot boy and every bot squad member, and there's like this is kind of like an alpha, I guess, but like I've got a project that I have in my mind. I've sketched a few ideas of like the strange people of bot world. That's like a work in progress the name, but like creating like a deeper like understanding of the characters in the world, and like it's not everyone's a robot in it, so I get to explore more exciting things. So yeah, if money and time wasn't an option, it'd be like a computer game cartoon kind of thing.
No, that's beautiful. Because again, it's all about the storytelling. I seen a great tweet this morning, actually. I forget who posted it, but it basically said, uh, art without a story, almost really isn't art. Um, Even if it's just a piece you're looking at, like it's telling a story to you, the individual.
Mm.
So now that once you get art put out there, and then you start building a lore around things, yeah, this starts to, again, this becomes that global brand thing. I know you're doing a great job. This mint contained signed posters, which I think is incredible, and I want one. um,
Well,
the
no one's
sticker
claimed
pack,
it yet, so
right? I might have to get one. I've got your stickers on the back of my car, and like those things go a long way. It's not that I haven't been asked about them. Like, people look at them and go, "Oh, what is that?" Um, Little stuff like that for me goes a long way. Congo, when you look at the bot world, from the collector standpoint, like, what gets you excited about seeing something like this?
Well, it already looked classic to me when I first saw it. Uh, what did I first collect? The llamas, the bot
Mm.
squad llamas, and so I was all into them. It got a little hip hop ish look to them, but they also got this this clean, this sharp look, and they I could see a world. I could see the world in the characters right away. Like I hadn't went to the site and knew anything about how you're planning on weaving it all in, but I could sort of perceive that just through looking at the characters.
All
nah,
right, Bot
thank
Boy,
you. I really, really appreciate that.
I gotta ask you, from your collecting, or from an inspiration stance as an artist, who are you looking around at in the NFT space and are really kind of admiring?
Oh man, Teens is a huge one. Like obviously because he's a front runner. Freud is just that man. His style is just like sometimes you see his artwork and you're like, oh my god, like
Yeah.
dude, like he's like on two different levels. It's always the classics. Trying to think off the top of my head. I feel like I'm on the spot. I don't want to. I don't want to miss people out because there's like
No.
there's so many like amazing artists in this space. It's like FTM Dead. That man, like from doing pixel art to 3D art to now doing this like GIMP tunes, like man, like what are you gonna do next? Like, like it's like I find inspiration in like every single artist on here. There's not one Nimbus. Like I did a collaboration piece with Nimbus, and he was like, "Oh, never like really drawn like characters. Like I'm trying to get into it." And then we did this like really sick piece together, and he blew me away. Like, and he's just a cool dude. So
Yeah.
Selleck is a huge one because he's 100% like authentically himself. Like there's no, I don't know. I could probably go on for ages.
I know. It's amazing because everybody's got their own little things, right? Like we were talking about this on NFT Alpha, like somebody like a Riot Ghouls, where it's, one style of art, almost, the very pixel stuff, but then the developer side of things. FTM Dead's kind of like that, where he's got the development side of things, but then he's got a bunch of art styles. Then you have someone like Teens who just doesn't touch the development side of things, and it's just I know how to do art. Freud. I love that you mentioned him because he's somebody that that one of one detail that he has. Like I know that capability, but then we learn about him through launching the Bingos, which I think is an awesome project. So his range, it is incredible to see the amount of talent that we have in this space.
And then not to forget his music.
Right. Well, even in Nimbus, you talk about Nimbus. Nimbus's music too.
Exactly.
Yeah, give some of us some talent. Jeez, like you're hogging it all.
All right, let's see. So we've talked about artists in the space.
Actually, can I just say as well, Illuminati Congo as well. Huge fan as well. Like massive fan. I've listened to your Spotify recently and big fan. So
thank you, bro.
Yeah, incredible stuff.
No.
All right, so artists. We've talked about artists in the community. I mean, you're an artist from outside of NFTs getting into it. Who's somebody that you want to see get into this field that maybe comes from the traditional art world or music or whatever?
I'm trying to get my old lecturer into the space. She's the reason I got into drawing again because I used to draw stupid drawings, and then she got me into the space, and I think she's one of the best artists I've ever seen, and so I'm trying to get her into the space. There's a lot of people I know who are amazing artists, but it's just trying to bridge them across to the NFT area because people, they have their own ideas on it, and but to like think of people that are famous, I can't really. I like there's a guy called Lobster Squirrel. He's a really good artist. He does like cartoon stuff on
Say Lobster Squirrel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
His name already fits in, right?
Yeah. You guys born for NFTs.
Man, there's a guy I want to get into the Phantom space. He's the reason I actually started NFTs last January. His name's Eddie Gangland, and he's an Ethereum artist. He's real big on OpenSea, and me and him chatted like a couple times at the start of last year, but I haven't ever reconnected. But he's a really good artist, like from Miami. So I want to get him over to Phantom.
Yeah, I've heard of him. I forget what he does, but I know we've had some type of interactions for sure.
Yeah, he does like these like skulls, like these kind of like radical skulls. So they're pretty cool.
So while I have you guys both in here, when it comes to the whole cross-chain thing, Illuminati is a big cross-chain collector. Did you have stuff on Ethereum first, or did you straight up come into Phantom?
I have some stuff on Ethereum. I drew these things called hip hop heads. I was so.
Where's the link?
Like
oblivious. Get a link in here.
That's how we do.
I'll see if I'll get it up. Let's see.
That's cool. Well, this reminds me of the Phantom Punks, because he had this like weird little collection on ETH long before Phantom Punks were a thing.
I'll send it to your Twitter.
That's awesome.
Was there? There you go. I just sent. I think I put like random like prices on them, because I like when you first do it, you're like, I don't know. So I was just like, this one can be worth 1 Ethereum. Like,
Right,
you just can't.
At the beginning, it's
around.
like nobody knew what to price anything. Like when people were just figuring out how to get things on the open sea or whatever, it's just was experimental, really.
Yeah, man. And I made these. I put something on Rarible. I was just all over the place, just blindly shooting.
Yeah, Rarible. I played with them.
So
yeah,
these are the hip hop heads, eh?
Yeah,
Those are cold from yeah.
These are awesome.
Yeah.
So one of my very first NFTs ever was actually a almost kind of like a pixel version of this. I forget what it's called, like hip hop NFT or hip hop cult NFT, but it was like a pixel version of different rappers. I'm a big fan of this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wanted to do like heaps of rappers. The Baby's probably my favorite one I did. But yeah, I wanted to do so many, and then it just never really took off. So, and then I wanted to like get into like making stupid comic strips. Like,
yeah, these are cool, dude. I don't see. Are any of these for sale though? How does this work?
I don't know.
I don't see prices or anything. Looks like you just got to offer.
They might not be. It was so long ago. I don't know if you could.
No. Oh, so you know what happened? Because if this was so long ago, OpenSea went through their update, so it basically would have delisted everything. So you're gonna have to have to go through and list everything again, or just accept offers on stuff.
Yeah, maybe we'll just see if any offers come through.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't even know what I even put it up for.
These are awesome, dude. And I like the fact that you have different color schemes to each rapper.
Yeah, man. You might want to even think like how Teens did. He made people go back and get some of his ETH collection to get whitelisted for something. Have people go put some offers on these to get some whitelist drops or something.
We need a Illuminati Congo hip hop head with a track behind it.
I'll 100% do that.
Dude, this is cool. I'm gonna take a look through this and put a couple offers in. That's awesome. I want to get into this for a second. Your new Bot Boy Art Club. I think this is a huge, incredible step to bring value back to the community and artists. It was part of our idea with Potluck to have these growth sessions, and they've been incredible to start. We've had artists that I've never even heard them speak feel comfortable enough to get up on stage and ask questions, and you can just hear how much more comfortable they are now after doing that. So that stuff goes a long way. Explain kind of your ideology behind setting up something like this.
It kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier about how I have all these friends outside of this space who I think would be valuable members to the space. And basically, my biggest fear with art was always showing people, and even to this day, I have that kind of fear of like people like ridiculing it and that. So I wanted to make a space where I would feel comfortable just like trying to learn from people, and like create a space where people can ask, but they don't have to do it at a set time. They just they have the whole week to create a piece and get involved basically. And that's kind of what I want to do is from now till forever, like every week, just put up a prompt. I'll do a drawing. That nothing has to be NFTs. Not like if you want to turn whatever you draw into an NFT, like go ahead and do that. Like all I want is just people to find like happiness in their art again, and or learn that they can draw. Because I think there's a lot of people that go, I can't do that. It's just like, give it a go. Like, I don't know. That's how I got into it, because I drew since I was like a child, but it was all just line work and cartoon. Like I call them silly cartoons now, but now I'm like, that's my style. So I should stop trying to be someone over here and just accept that's what my style is. That's who I am. And that's one thing that I've learned. So hopefully people can come into this art club and learn the exact same thing that I did. So that's kind of like, I don't know. I just want to build people up.
Yeah, it's huge. I mean, I think there's been a lot of artists in this space that have kind of come into their own through little contests or little drawing streams like that. I know Southern Empire providing that space has been huge for a lot of different artists.
I know Jake Guy got a lot of his encouragement and strength from the Southern Empire live spaces in the Discord.
Yeah, it's amazing. When I think back to the early days on Phantom and what helped just create this culture that we know is just different than every other NFT space. I think back to the Hashi Gym Discord. This probably might be a little bit early for you guys, but Hashi Gym had a Discord that if you were an artist on Phantom, like you were in that Discord. And there wasn't very many collectors. There was just a few of us big collectors in it. But it was just unbelievable to watch in every Discord channel, all of our artists like collaborating together. There was a section called corpses, and I hope to God these pieces work their way back out into this ecosystem at some point. But what would happen is an artist would draw a little base, maybe a slight little sketch, and they would upload that picture. Another artist would call dibs, take that image, spend 15, 20 minutes or whatever they wanted, and then do their upgrade to it. They would drop it. The next artist would come, call dibs. And you would have, sometimes these pieces would cycle through artists twice. Sometimes everybody just wanted to touch it once. But what came out at the end of it was incredible art and a purely collaborative process that I think really brewed this culture. Because I'm just now seeing AVAX start to pick up on this. And I think a lot of it is from our community. This idea of tapping into other artists for legendaries. I see Ava Sharks just did a big thing where they had all of the one-of-one artists auction off essentially a community version of their Ava Sharks.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that is a massive culture shift. And I think that comes from this collaborative environment that we create.
100%, and that's why you responded to me on Twitter the other day when I was like, "Who in AVAX should I collaborate with?" Because let's do some cross-chain collaboration. Because that's to me that's super exciting. That's like, let's just bring everyone together. That's gonna be such a good spot. Like, let's make an AVAX piece, let's make a Phantom piece, like, and we'll just go either side.
Yeah,
that'd be cool, I reckon.
I do want to get your gut reactions when I say Metaverse.
Okay. Exciting. It's super exciting. Like, what does Bot Boy do in the Metaverse? Like, how does it? I reckon that there's a pretty cool opportunity for Bot Boy in the Metaverse. Maybe make Bot Boy world where there's some rides.
Yeah. Are there aspects of the Metaverse that like get you nervous? I know, like personally for me, like I got into this stuff almost from a fear standpoint. Like seeing my little brothers kind of enter this VR world, it was like, all right, this is coming. I need to understand this and ideally try to be at the forefront of it to again try to create the culture for it. Are there aspects of the Metaverse that do get you a little bit nervous?
I think so, man. I think when I first people have explained other theories to me, which have kind of brought me down a bit. But like we saw over the last like 2 years with the COVID stuff, how everyone is now just kind of hermited back, and now with this Metaverse, it pushes people even further back away from socializing and getting to know each other, and that's my biggest fear, because I think everyone, you need to be social and you need to go out and meet people. I know you can still be social on the Metaverse, and goes against what I was saying earlier, like come online and meet a community of people. I still think you need to go out, enjoy life a little bit, and that was my biggest fear with the Metaverse. But I think it's a great opportunity.
No, that's totally fair.
Right, because this is essentially a metaverse right now. We would just be doing what we're doing right now inside of Sloughtopia or inside of Sandbox. So I just think it's an upgraded way to interact, but with, like you said, with the dangers of people being there habitually and forgetting about trees and bees and streams and the grass and things.
Yeah, you need to go out. You need to enjoy, still enjoy the outside world. it's it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big thing for me. I try to get the weekends away from the screen. Uh, it's usually my trailer time. That's where it's like need to be in nature, need to experience the water. That's a lot of reason why I haven't been at the auction house that much over the last few weekends. Like I need the time away because you can feel yourself like it gets
Canada's a beautiful place.
it's gorgeous, and now that the weather's nice, it is nice. But there's aspects to we have such elaborate, incredibly deep conversations in this space. Um, Sometimes it can get weird to do this, 24/7 or 24 hours a day, 5 days a week, and then all of a sudden, it's 2 days where it's like, you know what, I don't want to talk about how to change the world. I just want to drink beer and fucking be an idiot for a couple days.
Yeah, go get lost in the forest or something.
Yeah. What do your friends and family think about this industry?
Man, I'm an artist, so they think I'm weird anyway. Like they think I'm like they already did like understand me. So it's like there's nothing else. Get into this doesn't really. Yeah, they still don't understand it. So I used to just a quick little brief history lesson of me. I used to be I was a school dropout and then became a bricklayer. So I was a trade for about 10 years.
I know the
And
struggle,
then,
brother.
yeah, and then I was like, you know what? I'm miserable. I'm gonna go for a job that doesn't pay as much as this, but I'll be happy. And so then I quit and studied graphic design, and that's what I'm doing now. And so that alone was confusing for them. So I don't even try to explain the NFT stuff. I just get a phone call on a Monday going, "How'd the auction go?"
Yeah.
It went well.
Yeah, well, yeah. So it's funny you bring up the masonry stuff because, like, I come from a very old school family. Like, my dad was a bricklayer till he was 35, then went back to school to get into architecture, and then I worked. Like, his brother owns a masonry company and has for 30 plus years. Does really fucking well.
So y'all the real Masons.
Yeah, well, it's funny you bring this up because the Masons still try to tap into Masons, and I think that's amazing. So because my uncle, and this kind of perfect segue into the tinfoil topics, baby. But yeah, so my uncle, who has owned this masonry company for decades, is obviously doing really well because that's a great trade. Yeah, he's been reached out to many a times by the Masons to try to join in because they do try to tap into that historical prevalence of like this is kind of how we started. It was the idea of building these massive cathedrals where you'd have thousands of people on a job site, and you didn't want people looking down on each other. So if I was an apprentice and I would show up at this job site with thousands of people around it, I would just find the first person I could find, and we would shake hands, and we would cover that. So based on the grip of us shaking hands, I would signify to you what level of apprentice I was on the job site, and you would signify to me. But nobody else could see our handshake, so that nobody could judge what level of apprentice you were. So like I really think the secrecy in that history is beautiful. Because I've been a mason, I've been on job sites where you're a laborer and dudes are throwing mud at you and you're getting rocks thrown at you because
Yeah, man,
it's not on their level,
hectic.
right?
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, it's funny. I've watched a couple guys get shovels to the head on job sites. It's
Mate,
fun.
It's a high stress environment, that's for sure. It's just, especially like summertime, it's just boiling hot and you're stacking rocks.
It is. All right, so let's keep rolling with this. Speaking of masonry and beautiful stone builders, who built the pyramids?
Oh
So
god.
I've basically broken this down to we've got the theories kind of come down to aliens. Then there's the Egyptian category, which breaks down to a society of faith that was really just trying to build this thing. A super like a more advanced society at one time, or a slave class. But this is
You want me
essentially
to
what I've
answer?
broken it all down into. What do you think is the most plausible theory to the pyramids?
Oh, I love to think aliens. Like,
Hmm.
man, I draw robots. So if I don't get robots, I want aliens.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Like some, like I mean, there's even the giants theory. I mean,
What
I've
was
heard
that?
lots of
I've
theories
never heard
about.
the giants theory.
Well, I just heard a lot of theories about a time when giants were a thing, and I mean, this goes back through a lot of the stories of giants or the fallen angels. Being big, large demigods.
Do you reckon they were actually giants, or because and just thinking about like history in general, like if you go back to the UK and you go to a lot of these old buildings, people were tiny, and do you reckon there was
Right.
ever just like a 6'5" dude just walking around and they're like giants?
So I think there is an aspect to that. Absolutely. Like if Shaq walks through Asia,
Yeah,
that is a god. You are a god amongst men.
yeah. Mate,
There
I
is
get it when I go to Japan. I'm only 6'2", and
right.
I've had like people stop and have photos with me, and you're just like,
Oh, tall white boy.
what's going on here? Yeah, there's this funny story. Me and my mates were all like 6'2", like 6'3", like blonde hair, and it's just we were at Disneyland, and like there was like a line of Japanese like girls waiting to have photos with us. I think they thought we were like One Direction or something.
It's so funny because I played basketball growing up, and my basketball coach, he played African American guy, played around the world, and he had this big white buddy who they went over to I think it was Japan or Korea to play professional ball for a bit, and he's like, I couldn't get this guy to come home because he went over there, and being a big 6'7" white dude, he was just a god. And he's just like, I'm not coming home. I'm staying here. I'm living the dream over here.
Yeah. I found my purpose.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean,
Even Abraham Lincoln, he said there was giants buried under the mounds in some of these mounds in America. There's been like artifacts found of giant humans, and that are like, when we say giant, we talking about like 8 foot, 9 foot. Like, I I haven't done the research to like test any of this. I can't, and no one was there. None of us was there, so we don't know. But there's all these buildings that are built with these tall ass doors in ancient history. There's a book I seen big that's big as this whole room. It's like a huge book, and they said that it was made for giants. YouTube, you could go down a rabbit hole and
Yeah,
find
yeah.
all
I'm
types
gonna
of
go down
crazy
it.
stuff.
well,
I'm
yeah,
gonna go down it.
it's kind of why I brought it up because I have seen things about large bones being found and like there's some weird stuff to some archaeology, and there's a lot of corruption behind archaeology. Ben Learning, I'm seeing in the comments here, says the pyramids were built from top to bottom, and they were from the fourth dimension coming into the third dimension. They were built by the Atlantean. And the Nephilim are still here. If you go to the Midwest, like Wisconsin, you will find native burial grounds as all the Native Americans banded together to kill these Nephilim that were eating humans. So, yeah, I have heard the story of the Nephilim, and it kind of ties some of the books together. If you get into like the Anunnaki, stuff like that, the flood, you go back to the Ethiopian Bible and talking about that was the reason for the flood, was to kind of get rid of the Nephilim that were breeding with humans. Yeah, interesting stuff. Let's move on to aliens.
I need to end up in these rabbit holes somehow.
These are
You
my,
need to send
these
me
are my
some
favorite.
links.
These are my favorite rabbit
Yes.
holes, dude.
You need to send me some links. I need to get into these.
All right, so let's get your thoughts on the aliens.
Okay.
Have they been here? Are they more so like dimensional beings? Are they just coming now? Are they amongst us? What are your thoughts?
Mate, that's a crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so funny. I've listened to so many podcasts about this, like back in the day, and now I'm not. Now my brain's like trying to like filter back into that, and like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
thoughts at the time, because it just seems to go and disappear. So are they here, or are they among us, or have they been here before? Is this that the question?
Yep.
Okay, you're both so eager about my answer here. I can see
I
it.
am.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be cool if they are here. Like surely they're like. So I believe that there's got to be something out there. So why would they not be here?
Mm.
That's kind of my theory.
So
Do I have any
maybe
proof of that they're here? I don't. But do you probably have a lot of proof? I'm assuming.
I mean I don't have any proof. It's just like there's been a lot of little things in life that have like connected dots. So I'll never forget one of my stories is I dated this girl. So I'm outside of Toronto, and outside of Toronto, like the rich people don't want to live right in Toronto. They want land outside of Toronto that they can drive into Toronto. So I was dating this girl in this area. So there's a fuck ton of money. Their family, ton of money. They have this family friend. His name is Fred. Fred is like 65, a very quiet, kind of mysterious man. Now he was working somewhere in the area every Wednesday on some project that he couldn't say anything about. And he was a government agent, a Knight of Templar, which is I guess, one of the top classes of the Masons. And they would try to pick his brain all the time about like, yeah, what are you doing? Like, what is all this about? What do you know? And they get him all drunk up. I got to go for dinner one night with him, and we had a bunch of drinks. I'll never forget. We're going around the table. Girlfriend's dad goes, "All right, how's everybody's day doing?" We're going around the table. Everybody's saying their day. We just get to him, and he goes, "Sorry, can't say anything." And it's just like, okay, on to the next. Then after a bunch of drinks, everybody's picking and prodding at him. You can see he's just loosey goosey. We start just picking his brain. He had been to Area 51. He's seen a lot of shit. Like he's done a lot of stuff, but he won't answer anything. So all he gave us about Area 51 was that they found stuff at Roswell, and that a lot of today's technology has been back engineered off it, which I think is really interesting because I think about the Bob Lazar stuff, where like he's supposed to be this guy that worked on things at Area 51 or S4, and like everybody that has talked to this man basically says like, all right, I don't know if I believe in aliens, but I believe that this dude worked on something that we don't understand. So there's little stories like that kind of connect some dots for me. And I had always heard that under the Pentagon, floors under the Pentagon, they're like 50 years ahead in technology to what comes out in
Yeah,
the public.
there's definitely technology that we have no idea about, and I think they use it with like for military and all that, like, and then once they kind of get to the next one, then they start to slip it into the rest of
Right.
the world.
Well, I
Where
mean
it comes from, I'm not
that's part of the
sure.
interesting stuff on the new UAP talk that's been going on a lot lately. It's like it's all fun and games until these things are breaking laws of physics, and then you're like, okay, this doesn't make sense now because everything that we have, like everything we envision, has to work around these laws. So if now all of a sudden something is breaking these laws, well,
Yeah,
what are we really? Yeah, how much
makes
science
you
are we
question a
really?
lot of things, right?
Yeah, right.
And I guess that's the fear of all of it, and all new technology is what's the fear that it's going to cause on mass society. We saw what COVID did to mass society.
Right.
Like, man, like people couldn't get toilet paper
Right.
because of fear. Like, so
Yeah.
like with certain information, you got to be careful, right?
No, it is. All right, let's get into time travel. Where are you going? What time? Where are you going?
That's a good one. That is a good one. I don't know.
I'm undecided too. I don't know if I want to go into the past or if I want to go into the future.
Yeah, like, do I want to see what I become, or I don't think I ever want to. And this is probably, I don't know, deeper than it should be in my head, but I don't think I'd ever want to go back and change anything, because then I'd never be
Mm,
at the point I am now, because I'm
mm.
pretty happy where I am. So, like that, there's nothing in this where I'd like, I want to go back and change this one decision, because that ruined my life. But I don't. I want to go back and experience certain times. Like the '80s sounds wild for me, and I'm only a '90s baby. like, you know what I mean? Like, or even
See, I
just like,
want to do the
I would-
60s.
yeah, like '60s. That would be dope. Like, I don't think I'd ever survive in the Wild West or in like medieval times. I'd be dead within a second.
Yeah.
But
I want to go
I'd
to the
say,
moment of the first human, when the first humans appeared, and
Mm.
see and just be able to see what happened. So I,
Get the answer. I mean, that's the
yeah,
answer, right?
yeah.
actually, I know my answer now. I would go to Egypt and I'd come back and I'd tell Tin how they did it.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed. Yeah, see, that's again undecided. Like, because part of me wants to go back to the pyramids, other part of me wants to see dinosaurs. Like,
Yeah, the other part wants me to go,
You might not see
ride a
any if you
hoverboard.
go back. You might not see any dinosaurs if you go
ain't
back.
ain't that the game, right?
Some say dinosaurs ain't even real, man.
Ain't that the game? All right, next
No,
question.
movies about them, never real.
You know what did fuck me up about dinosaurs is the fact that realizing that Jurassic Park is probably not them, and that they're probably more so birds, and that like the T-Rex was probably feathered, if that was
Yeah.
the case, and that blows me away that there was a big ass chicken running around killing things.
Yeah, Bot Squad chicken.
Yeah,
Yeah, prehistoric version.
yeah. All right. How about favorite mythological god? Now, this can be from an art perspective or the story behind it. Now, for me, my answer to this is I love the art of Anubis, that dog god from Egypt.
Yeah.
But then I love kind of the story of creation and destruction of like the Shiva goddess, where she kind of has all the arms.
You guys are probably gonna think I'm so boring because I'm so kind of like on the fence about so many of these subjects. So I apologize on that.
No, we love it.
I'm such. I'm
We're
such
pulling
like
you in. We're pulling you in the rabbit holes. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh no. What was it? I actually, from an art perspective, I love Medusa because I love like it's like, I think that's probably a generic kind of thing, but I love drawing like a big thing I used to draw all the time was like tentacles and stuff and snakes, and so I used to love drawing that stuff. So I think if I was going to pick a god, it'd be that off the top of my head.
That's cool. Yeah, I'd love to see a bot squad Kraken or something like that.
Actually, I've picked my god. Remember the bot god? What was he? Bot god. I've forgot my own drawing.
That's what I'm talking
I don't know if
about.
you saw it, Illuminati. It's probably one of my finest bot boys today.
Yeah, let me peep it, because that's what I really like, our ability to create our own gods, because that's all those things are. And any type of perception we could have of any god is coming from our own mind. So we're the creators of it.
Yeah, we're our own creator. I'm gonna send this to you, Tin, and then we can talk about.
Trying to. I got your collection up here. Well, find the god one.
I think it's season 3, the last one on the right there, that green one. Oh, go up.
3. Great.
Oh, is it season 3? Yeah.
Oh God!
On the far right there. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's raw. Yeah, I love that.
And it's got Phantom artists in the background as well.
Oh, who is this? This is it reminds me of that cartoon.
It's from Hercules.
Right. That's it. Yep.
I love how
That's the inspiration.
like it is so infused with like spirit elements, but it's a bot. It's a robot.
I love the walking
It's
on the
so
heads
dope.
too.
Yeah.
Nah,
Uh,
I was pretty. I gave myself a couple taps on the back for that one.
yeah, fair. All right, another gut reaction. What's your gut reaction when I say transhumanism?
My first thing is explain. Man, everyone's literally going to be watching this, just going like, this guy must just like just sit in the dark and draw and not pay attention to
Does
anything.
his art, loves it.
At least I'm honest there, right? I'm not just sat
Yeah,
here going, "Oh, I
I
think
guess
it's."
it's the natural kind of merging with machine that is going to continue seemingly over the next forever.
Like altered carbon kind of stuff.
Yeah, like I mean, we're getting into the idea. I was listening to just the like Logan Paul was on Flagrant 2, and they got into the idea of you're getting into the point of cloning is a thing. So like you can clone your dog and whatnot, which means that they've probably been cloning things like people in a lab underground somewhere for a long time. So the fact that you could get a body clone, now you get into like the consciousness uploading. Could you just like flash upload your consciousness to another drone essentially at all times? And then that's a way to live out forever. You start to get into
Yeah.
that
Right.
concept.
Transhumanism, it's like possible, right, to upload your consciousness to even a bot boy. Say if there was like a bot squad chicken that's able to receive the stick of your, you just put it in there and then you're inside of a bot squad chicken. I mean, these are some of the theories that
Yeah.
transhumanism suggests. Even the greatest one is that people don't have to die because we can just keep regrowing bodies in a lab and putting consciousness back into it.
Yeah, you get
That's
into the
wild,
Matrix type of idea, where it's like, yeah,
That's
you got
wild.
chips that you can just download information. Um,
I don't know. Like, I guess I've never really. I guess when I get to the near end of my life, or if I found out I was probably going to die next week, I'd probably be like, yeah, load me up. I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? I can't make that
Why
call
not try
until,
it?
yeah, like, hey, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm going to die. So, I don't. Yeah, it's a wild concept. It sounds like a concept for the rich, though. If I'm truly honest.
this is what it's funny because like I really like that Black Mirror show, and just kind of I think it's important to understand like the dystopian kind of potential of things. And man, there's one episode where it scares the shit out of me, but it's this idea of uploading a consciousness and whatnot, and it's like a human being gets uploaded as Alexa. So it's like
Yeah,
literally a human is inside the Alexa essentially, and this person just starts going fucking batshit because they, as a human, like they're in like this white room within Alexa, and like obviously don't have the ability that a human does, and like that to me scares the shit out of me. The fact that like
yeah,
potentiality for that, where you get uploaded
that's
into another
possible.
body that has the memories of that body, and now you're
There's a
like
series called
fighting with that.
Upload on Amazon Prime where it's all about this and people getting uploaded and people faking uploading and so they could meet with people who are in this cloud. It's like really weird.
It's the ultimate metaverse.
Yeah.
It's kind of like actually it's funny, I didn't know the terminology, but we were talking about this today at work because we were talking about, have you seen the Google AI that's turned sentient? It's like
Yeah.
it's for like half an hour there's like this recording of it, and it's just that's unreal, man. It's like, don't turn me off. You're like, yeah, no, I'm turning you off.
Well, there was that. There's a lot of that weird stuff because there was that one. I think it was Google as well, where they had the AIs that all of a sudden started talking to each other in a different language and communicating.
That's
And they're
Facebook.
like, "Whoa, okay, shut her down!" Like we don't know what that is.
Well, that's how
Yeah.
the Matrix started. Have you heard the theory that Terminator is the beginning that Terminator was the first part of the story of Matrix, and that the whole Terminator series are the robots taking control, and that it happened basically because the people weren't treating the robots with respect,
Mm,
with as another being, and
mm,
so they got sent. Basically, this robot got a death sentence for killing the person that it had to work with. This is in the Animatrix. It was a slave to, the robots are slaves to people.
mm,
In our time now, the robots are slaves to us, and so the robot fought for itself to not be a slave. It got sentenced to death, and then the robot world began to communicate with each other and say, we need to take over. So
mm.
they started using the sun power, solar power, to uh, to power themselves. Because remember, you just said, "Don't turn me off."
Right.
They didn't want to be turned off. They needed to be powered. Then humans sprayed chemicals over in the matrix, in the animatrix. They spread chemicals all over the atmosphere to cover the sun so that the robots couldn't get the energy they needed. So then the robots was like, F it. We know another place to get energy from. We're gonna lock on the humans and take it from their body. And that's
Mm.
how the people got put into the matrix, and the AI began to
This is
live.
so interesting.
Man, I need to watch Animatrix. Some wild, wild
It's
shit.
like a cartoon part that
Yeah.
explains some of the matrix. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting because
That's
I know I have to watch that because I know that if you're a Star Wars fan, like the Clone Wars, which is like the cartoon, is like a vital part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it is interesting. Like I know that they do that where they put sub stories in an animated thing almost to kind of separate things.
man,
Uh,
that's it's wild though, because it's like when you think about it, we're trying to create this like renewable world with all of these different ways to power things without having to be on the grid, and you just need the sun, or you have like the turbines in the water, or you have like the wind turbines, and it's like we're just building this world for the robots to
yeah,
survive.
yeah, yeah.
It's
All right. Well, when
wild.
the robots take over, you're gonna need a superpower. What's the
Yeah.
superpower that you are picking?
Ah, what is my superpower? That I can't die by robots.
Yeah.
No,
Uh,
you've done too much good for the robot
Yeah, exactly.
community.
You're bringing the
yeah.
robots to sentience.
Oh, I can't help to think that if Bot Boy was real, it would just be in pain. It's just like this weird, like this human arm stuck onto a robot.
Yeah,
Like I feel like he'd just be like, "Kill me."
like Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Okay.
God.
All right. You're stuck on an island by yourself. You got one buddy to hang out with. You've got one song to listen to, one food to eat, and one movie to entertain yourself with.
Okay. So I got to pick one of each. I got to pick a
Yeah.
buddy.
Yeah. It might not even
Uh,
have to be a buddy. You might maybe just somebody that you hate. Maybe you want to get rid of them off the island right at the get go.
what's that? So I pick the only person in the world to hang out with, and then I kill them.
Yeah. Hey, that provides you the extra food. Now you don't need
Yeah.
one
Okay.
food.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, well, a buddy of mine, no one would know. So, and my girlfriend is in the next room, so I'm gonna say my girlfriend actually,
Oh, good call. Good call. Good call.
because
Stay out of the doghouse.
the one song, oh, it would have to be a Kendrick Lamar song, but I can't think of
Mm,
one off the top of my head right now.
mm.
There's too many. Which one is my favorite? I don't know.
I like that. I like that
um,
answer because I know like there's so much variety in each of his songs. It is almost like listening to multiple songs within one.
I think I would go ADHD. That's
Mm,
probably one of my favorite
mm,
Kendrick songs.
mm.
It's one of his earliest ones as well. And then what was the next one? I have to pick a food.
We got a food and a movie.
I'm gonna say pizza. I'm just gonna say classic pepperoni pizza.
Fair.
And for a movie, God, I don't know that one. That's a tough one.
I know.
Movies are always the toughest ones to pick, I think, because
I
it's
think
just
for
like,
me, like my favorite movie ever is Interstellar. But I'm not gonna lie, if
yeah,
I'm stuck on an island, I think my movie is gonna be Step Brothers.
yeah, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, I think I'd watch Superbad. I've watched that movie way too many times.
That's a good one. That's a good one. All right, let's get into. Oh, would you consider yourself a hunter or a gatherer?
I'd definitely probably be a gatherer.
Mm.
Like, hunter's way too manly. I'm not that manly.
No, there's
Hey,
to
if
me,
anything,
it's like I like the idea of. For me, I think there's an interesting thing to being an entrepreneur and having the gatherer trait, because as an entrepreneur, like when I think about that, that's like I can get people together. A hunter, it's very quiet. It's on your own. There's some eye contact that you're making, but it's very on your own. Whereas the gathering is much more teamwork. It's kind of building something together to support more people. So I like
I
that.
think,
I like
yeah,
that.
I think with hunter, I'd have to be, yeah, I wouldn't be authentic because I would have to put on a persona of being like creating a character and then trying to make people believe I'm that character. So yeah, gatherer makes more sense to me because I'm gonna say what's on my mind, and most of the time I'm just like, "Hey, how's it going?" Like,
Yeah.
that's the worst person to go hunting with.
All right, I got a couple more questions for you. You got one of these options. You have to say everything that's on your mind at all times, or you never get to speak again.
I think I already lived to say what's on your mind at all times anyway,
Love
so
it.
I'm gonna say that.
Love it. All right, you're going to jail. What's the crime that you committed?
Oh, just being too lovely. I'll probably it'd be some kind of speeding or something like that. It'd be some kind of
All right.
traffic offense. I
Yeah.
reckon.
Okay. All right.
Drive it like I stole it.
Great answer. Here we go. Trapped in a cage. You don't get an option here. You are stuck in a cage, but you get to choose what you're stuck in the cage with. Is it a bear, a crocodile, or a rhino?
How big's the cage? Because rhinos are pretty big. Does it have an area
So-
to charge me?
Yeah, not enough to charge you, really.
Okay.
I mean, enough to throw the head around and do some damage if it wanted to, but it is pretty enclosed. We'll say.
I actually think I'm gonna go for a crocodile because crocodiles actually can't bite you if you can stop them going up. So I would just have to stay on top of that the whole time.
Great answer. That was my thought too. Yeah,
Yeah.
the bear. I think the bear does the most
Yeah.
damage easily. Just
Yeah,
too much
you don't
going
fuck with a
on.
bear.
Too much flexibility. Just too much going on.
No, you don't mess with bear markets or bears.
If everything in the world was free, what would you have the most of?
Oh, that's a great question. What would I have the most of? Socks.
Love
I'd have a
it.
new
Dude,
pair of
that is
socks every day.
Dude, the feet are key to health. Having a nice comfy feet, that's a good answer. That improves the mental
Yeah.
health.
Yeah, exactly. I actually one year bought my brother for Christmas a year's supply worth of socks, and I wrapped every pair individually. So you had to.
That's amazing.
So if anyone wants any present ideas, there we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, Botboy, that's all I got for you for questions, sir. Really appreciate you coming on here, dude. I absolutely love what you're building.
Anytime.
This whole bot world. Yeah, as Congo said, I personally think the llamas are like one of the most slept on collections. Both the adults and the kids. The kids are just adorable. I think they're so funny. Now we got the chickens. Any alpha potentially what the next character series might be?
I'm still kind of working on it, but I definitely want it to be a bit more of a disfigured kind of look. It's like a kind of human robot body, but like I don't know. Now you've put rhino in my head. That would be a cool one. Like I was originally thinking like a dolphin coming off, like kind of bulging over. And I really like the glass head look on the chickens.
Yes.
And so I want to kind of bring more of that into the next collection. Maybe I'll do like dolphins and rhinos. Let's just go weird.
Well, so yeah, to go very back to that point, that whole glass head thing, going back to the build your own things that where traits didn't even show up. Yeah, that glass head with all the AVAX coins and whatnot. I don't think that showed up at all. And that was like one of my favorite traits.
That's the one you want.
Yeah.
That's the one you want. That's the one that's being used as like promo everywhere. That's the one everyone sees. Like if you get those dice, and I'm pretty sure someone does. Like if they get that AVAX head, like I might have considered putting a bid in.
Yeah. Oh, so I guess Congo, you weren't here for that. So you know how you can get the build your own out of the assets?
Yeah.
So there was way too many assets that did not even get generated. Right. So when you get to do this build your own, there's assets that literally aren't in the collection that you'll get to
pull from those. Okay.
Yeah. Which is crazy.
It makes me want to just see if anyone wants to just like I don't know, like do a competition to build their own. Like, well, burn one if they have one.
Even for you could do something similar to Teens on Acid as well, where you do a special edition where you're building your favorites out of the traits, and then you have the team captains kind of thing. I love that approach. You took that route.
Well, that's the biggest thing with the chickens at the moment is as I said, with the llamas, it all happened so quick. And now that I have a little bit of a following because of the chickens and the llamas and the bot boys, I'm trying to now work out how I can bring all of them together in my Discord and create more value and like more community out of actually owning these. So,
when I think
I'm doing it with
something for me. So when I think just brainstorming, like I think it'd be really interesting for you to host some kind of community contests where maybe there is a special edition of a llama, of a kid llama, of a chicken, and you start maybe doing team captains of that, where you almost have a team captain like per collection, and that's kind of like your. I think it's really important to have guys like South and like every community. You need some, whether it's me for Umans or it's South for Teens on Acid. Like you need that one collector that is just kind of ride or die. I think
I haven't announced it yet, but I know Crypto Jester Jason. So he's one of my biggest supporters at the moment, and I've actually recently made him a mod in my Discord. So
that's amazing. He's part of the DMD team.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
And he's I'm trying to bring everyone together, you know.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
And it's just I want to be as inclusive as possible, you know. And it's just like. And he's doing really good. He's like starting to put bots in my Discord, and he's working out ways to like incorporate all of them together. It's nice, man. It's nice to have people come in and offer their help, and he's like, just focus on your art. I'll try to help out with the rest. So it's good, man.
Well, gents,
it's good.
I really appreciate this conversation as always. The idea is to do this on a daily basis, every morning at about 9 o'clock. If we can get on the set schedule, then we can start pulling some good numbers in here, and then really getting some cool conversations.
For sure. Thanks so much for having me. And Congo, is so amazing to meet you face to face.
Yeah, you too. Yeah, thank you for letting me deal with y'all, man. Find out more about what's going on with Bot Boy. Thank you for all of our peoples for tuning in and checking out what's going on in our art worlds and in our mental worlds.
Yeah, and guys, don't sleep on this little Rap Heads collection. I'm gonna be putting in some offers on a couple of these.
Yeah, I'll go put some up.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, guys, thanks so much for this. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys later.